to some triple-double territory if he keeps playing at this rate.
Andrick, it's time for your favorite part of the show. Let's take a look at our top 10 Bright House Sports Network basketball poll. Which team is tops in the land? Tampa Prep going to have to wait at least one more week before they can take over that top spot.
I think you guys have done a great job at matching 1 against 2 if they can hold on. But tell you what, Coach Phelan has to get past the Berkeley Prep Ball Club and the McKeel Ball Club in the next 2 weeks. And McKeel is undefeated, having a very solid season so far. And I see they're not in our rankings. And, Berkeley Prep now has the services of Nelson Aguilar back. And I don't know if you looked in the paper, but they put an absolute thumping on Tampa Catholic a couple days ago.
Oh, they sure did, as McSpadden puts it in for Winter Haven. So McSpadden playing well. Kendrick Holland playing well. And Walker's been sensational here in the first half. Greg Abrams, 12-footer, off. Followed right back up by Will Brown, and he'll shoot 2. So the only returning Red Devil will head to the line. And this is a player that last year only averaged around 2 points a game. He's had to really take a lot of the load, up to 9.2 down the stretch here.
Will Brown also asked to do a majority of the dirty work underneath the basket. Coach Longo's been lucky to have players such as Lazedrick Williams to battle in the paint and pass, and Will Brown is trying to follow suit.
Substitution, Kevin Wilson comes out, Terry Bentley checks in. Bentley, the 5'8" senior, very physical player who will stand at half court now as Kathleen goes into their press. That's tipped away. Blue Devils did a nice job of keeping it. Now Holland, short jumper, couldn't get it to fall. Blue Devils all over the ball, but Will Brown able to squeeze it, and a foul is called.
See Will Brown started the senior leadership, showing the toughness on the glass.
That foul was on Kendrick Holland.
Winter Haven will run and jump out of this set.
Bentley whips it around, and Taylor was spotting up, but could not hit it. Here's Abrams, intercepting it. Greg Abrams, certain his shot.
Greg Abrams taking matters into his own hands on that possession.
We've seen Kathleen here, at least the last quarter, struggle shooting from the field, Andrick. That's been a recurring theme throughout this season.
Coach Longo does not have the luxury of having a long-range shooter on his squad, so they have to manufacture buckets by attacking the basket and turning the opposing team over.
Terry Bentley will shoot 2. Yeah, some of the numbers on that shooting. Coach Longo had to coach this team through 18% from beyond three-point land and 32% just from the field.
Is World Meta Peace suiting up for him?
Those are tough circumstances. Bentley now, first free throw good.
And you have to ask yourself as a ball club, if you're shooting 18% from the field, three-point line that is, you may not want to be taking too many of those, that's for sure.
So Terry Bentley, you know who his uncle was or is? Chris Davis, former Kathleen great who went to Auburn and got it done. Over 700 yards rushing on the football field as well.
So again, just such a long history of phenomenal athletes to come out of Kathleen.
Walker off, but it hit nothing. Holland was there waiting for it. Kendrick Holland has made a living, Andrick, off that junk.
Now, one of the more difficult things to do in a 2-3 zone is really to locate bodies to box out. And the man-to-man, you kind of know who you're responsible for in the zone. You're responsible for an area. Right now, Kathleen not doing a good job of really making a rebounding triangle around the rim.
Trying to create his own shot was Wilson. And running again to the Blue Devils. Walker off the glass was short. Follow right back up and in. JT Hawkins, who's still getting into that basketball rhythm. Looks like he has it right now. Brings a lot of toughness to the court for the Blue Devils as a timeout is called, and it's a 10-point lead.
Here again, Winter Haven doing what they've done so far in the first half, getting out and attacking the basket. Kathleen just not doing a good job of locating bodies and keeping the white shirts off the glass.
Coach Tyrone Woodside. In his fourth season, Coach Woodside took over for Don Grant, and you know, the first thing he noticed when he moved down here to Florida, Andrick, was the lack of the fundamentals that some of the kids didn't have here compared to some of the kids from up north, the New York area where he is from. He hails from Hempstead, New York. He was actually a walk-on player at St. John's and played with Chris Mullen back in college.
Talk about fundamental, doesn't get any better than Chris Mullen and Mark Jackson, you know, on those Carmissimo teams. You know, pretty good. But you know, one thing that we take advantage of here in the Florida is the great weather year-round, and I think that's why you have such phenomenal athletes that play football and baseball, because you have the opportunity to do that. You know, up north when it's cold like it is right now, you want to make sure you're in a gym, and if you're in a gym, 9 times out of 10 you have a basketball in your hand, and I'm not making excuses, but you know, we produce some pretty well-rounded athletes. You know, but that's been one of my things for a lot of these high school coaches. You have to find time for the kids to get in the gym year-round. It can't just be a seasonal thing if they want to get better, and that's the only way you work on your fundamentals.
Well said. (29-19) Winter Haven has led for most of this first half. Devon Walker lobs it up, and it was blocked. Wound up in JT Hawkins' hands, but I'll tell you what, Kendrick Holland continues to do a lot of the dirty work. It's knocked out though, and the Red Devils will take over. We saw this young man on the football field, Andrick. Holland is a special talent. He was an all-state wide receiver just in his sophomore year this past fall. The question is, in the future, is he a basketball player or is he a football player?
Well, with the athletic ability that he has, we've all seen, you know, how the services of wide receivers are needed, that can be 6'4", 6'5", and they can out-jump anyone for passes. And you can tell he has a pretty good gait the way he runs. It's a lot easier to play professional football than it is to play professional basketball.
Foul is called. Vivian Morris will head to the line. So Vivian Morris, a 6'4" senior. A very strong individual. He did not play, Andrick, the Tampa Prep game last Saturday night. And the reason why is because Morris is one of those players that has a part-time job that he's very dedicated to. Last year, he had to work during the week and had to miss a lot of basketball. So Coach Woodside told him this year, listen, son, can you give us 3 months? He said, okay. So he went to the Spring Haven Retirement Community, and he is working every single weekend to bring in extra money for his family.
Well, no, I mean, that's dedication. I mean, and those are the type of kids I think that you want a part of your program, just a part of your school. I mean, Drew, you have a tough time getting up and showing up to work every day. If this young man can do it, I cannot understand for the life of me why you can't do it.
I'm trying my best. Greg Abrams. His Red Devils trailing by 12. Kathleen needs a bucket here. That zone right now, tough to break for Kathleen. Abrams nearly had it stolen and a jump ball. So Devon Walker able to turn it over, and it's Winter Haven basketball.
It's a lot of length at the top of the zone for Winter Haven, and Kathleen just can't get a clean pass around the horn.
Look at this Winter Haven offense too. There are guys moving constantly. Nobody standing around.
They do a great job against the zone of cutting through traffic.
Traveling called right there. Vivian Morris, too many steps.
Again, just anytime you have an opportunity to cut through a zone and draw more than one defender, it's going to allow for your teammates to get open. And just the movement is something you're not used to seeing when you're playing a 2-3 zone.
Greg Abrams from the elbow, in and out. Kendrick Holland brings it down. That's the 7th rebound for Holland. He has gotten all over the boards. You look at Kendrick Holland, the way he plays, kind of reminds me a little bit of an Anton Jamison back in college. Always around the bucket, very opportunistic. And here he is again. Trying to go right back up with it. Had it blocked, though, by Newkirk. And knocking it down is Devon Walker.
There are not too many high school basketball players that have the ability to make that shot. Catch the basketball with a strong shot fake, one dribble, one direction or another for a pull-up. So many times you see high school basketball players attempt to take the ball all the way to the rim. You have the propensity there to end up committing an offensive foul, but that's a shot you have to be able to make at the next level.
16 points right now for Devon Walker, the 6'6" senior point guard. He averages 27 a night. 90 seconds left to go in this first half. Alshon Evans on the deck. Kathleen struggling, just getting good offensive possessions. And the biggest reason is this Winter Haven defense. Walker called for his first foul. Bentley back in. And Alshon Evans takes a seat. Wilson. Bentley. Three-point try. No good. You also look at Kathleen in these last 4 or 5 possessions, Andrew, and it doesn't look like anybody really wants to take the shot.
Well, again, I mean, this is a team that's not comfortable when it comes to making shots, and Winter Haven right now is forcing them to play from the outside. Kathleen's been successful a little bit against the zone, attacking the basket, but they don't have anyone that can really score in the post when you talk about playing with their back to the basket. So when you shoot 19% from behind the arc, you're not going to be able to generate much offense.
Walker knocked it away. Here comes Jordan. Staying with the Blue Devils. The strength of this Winter Haven team, clearly their length. All 5 starters have at least, according to our producer Chris McCulley, a 6'8" wingspan.
Chris McCulley is always all over the stat sheet.
Without a doubt. Baseline jumper no good. Rebounded by Haynes. And now Blue Devils running. Walker to the skies.
Devin Skywalker attempting to break in those new rims, Drew.
Wilson follows it back up. This gym right now buzzing because of Devon Walker, and I like that little nickname you just gave him.
You like the Will of Skywalker, of course, that belongs to Kenny, but hey, Devon, you can borrow it for the evening.
Kevin Wilson only has 2 points tonight. Now he's got 3. This young man scores in bunches as Kathleen now unloads their bench.
Kathleen just have to try, Drew, to get back down on defense and get a stop. Pretty sure Winter Haven will settle for the last shot here.
Blue Devils lead by 15. Trying to go to the locker room. Leading by 17, maybe 18. Devon Walker. What a first half performance. Here he is now one-on-one. And they're going to get Walker with an offensive foul as he was going to the goal. Our officials tonight. Let's take one more look. David Nitz, Andrew Garrison, Troy Carr. That's a tough call.
Devin Walker, they're just trying to make sure he maintains his space, and he was probably waiting to feel.
Time here at Winter Haven High School. The Blue Devils with a 35-20 lead over the Kathleen Red Devils. This telecast is brought to you by Subway Restaurants, offering the best deal in town, a different 6-inch sub daily, along with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips for only $4.50. Subway, eat fresh. Well, whenever you talk sports and you talk legacies around Hillsborough County at Tampa Catholic High School, the names Kroll and Jones, without a doubt, ring a bell. Fathers, now daughters, shining on the basketball court.
Two reasons the Tampa Catholic girls will make their case for a three-peat. The first, senior Kai Jones. The second, senior Micah Kroll. They are the 1-2 punch of Tampa Catholic basketball, each with 2 state titles, each feeding and scoring off each other.
The kids have played together for years, and it shows. They do things on the court that kids that just started playing together don't do.
But wish they could do, like score over 1,000 points on their career. Both ladies have that milestone on their resume. Micah also has 500 assists. And Kai, she's on the brink of 1,000 rebounds as well. They've got stats, they've got championships, and they've earned it together.
Just like on and off the court, we're so like tight and close. But when we're on the court especially, we just work so well. Like we click and everything just goes our way.
But there's one thing that makes Kai and Micah's bond even stronger. Actually, 2. Sharpshooters from the 1970s. Mike Kroll with 1,485 points, and Tommy Jones with 1,613. They're the fathers who once had serious game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? That was a long time ago, man, that we played.
How many people came up to you and said, oh, I remember your dad from back in the 70s?
Oh, everybody. They're like, everybody.
Everybody did?
Yeah, mostly everybody. They were like, I was like, oh, yeah, that's my dad. They're like, is you Tommy Jones' daughter? I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. They're like, oh, I remember him back in the day with the fro and everything and all that stuff.
Tommy Jones is now an assistant coach at the University of Tampa and admits more satisfaction comes from watching Kai than running the court himself.
It's even better to have your kid come along and play, you know, and be successful like what she's been successful, and get to sit down and watch that. My kid's a great person, man, and that's more important than anything, honestly. But to see good things happen to good people, you know, that's pretty exciting, man. And I'll be more excited to see her name up there than mine.
Her yearbook, she got started early. That was in Hampton, Virginia.
Mike Kroll couldn't agree more, and he's got all the evidence to prove it.
Look at this picture. You're talking about Mike is 4 years old and gets her name in the paper.
As good as we thought we were, we never smelled a state championship. We never got close. And these kids have been 3 times and won it twice.
That's when Micah started.
Oh my gosh, she was how old?
Every dad has a dream that their kid's going to do this, right?
Yeah.
But for that to actually fulfill it, what this kid's done, I mean, I got a little emotional today.
And there's a 5th element to this story. Nancy Kroll is Micah's stepmom, also Mike's wife. But even the architect of Crusader basketball has no problem listening to these parents coaching from afar.
When I needed a tape on a team, Tommy was able to get it for me. I heard this about the team. You got to cut her down, double team her. I take suggestions from other good coaches, absolutely. So they've been very helpful. But I do have the final say, though.
Another reason Crusader basketball is one big, happy family. In Tampa, Drew Felios, Bright House Sports Network.
That is something else with that Tampa Catholic family has been able to accomplish 2 straight basketball championships. And I know you know Tommy Jones. He was one heck of a player back in the day, as well as Mike Rowe.
That really makes me feel old because I can remember holding Kai, when she was a little girl. Coach Jones was at Tampa Prep my senior year and really helped me with my strength and conditioning. We've maintained an unbelievable bond. So I've watched her grow and get better over the years, and it really couldn't happen to 2 better sets of families. I've known Nancy Kroll when she used to be married to Coach Keeler, and he passed, and she's been involved with basketball at the Academy of Holy Names and also at HCC before Tampa Catholic. So what great tradition, what a great story, probably some of the best work I've ever seen you do, Drew.
Oh, thank you so much. I think what stood out, what made it so enjoyable, here you have 2 superstar athletes back in their time saying it brings them much more pleasure, much more enjoyment to watch their daughters shine on the
stuff all in perspective.
Winter Haven and Kathleen. The edge right now goes to the Blue Devils, 35-20 on the Subway Restaurants game of the week. We came in here tonight knowing we were going to watch one of the top high school players around, but Kathleen able to establish a flurry early. Leading scorer Derek Taylor with 6 points for the Red Devils after half number 1. But then the Blue Devils simply got red hot. Mr. Devon Walker absolutely lit up the nets.
Well, I think Devon Walker was all as published, especially in the first half, putting in 18 points and 6 rebounds, which is usually an in-game stat line, just in a little bit over 16 minutes of action.
And then JT Holland making his living around the basket, just pulling down rebounds, and that definitely the exclamation of half number 1, Walker throwing it down and earning the nickname Skywalker from Andrick Frazier. As you take a look at the stats, Andrick, what is the biggest number that stands out?
Well, I think it's the rebounding edge, and Winter Haven has done a great job really of protecting their own end of the floor on the defensive glass, but most of the damage has been done on the offensive side. We've seen Devin Walker grab a couple of rebounds, and we've also seen some other work put in. I can't remember the young gentleman's name.
Second half about to begin. We're in Polk County tonight. Winter Haven with a 35-20 lead over Kathleen. And Kathleen, one of the most consistent basketball programs we cover year in and year out. Right now with 7 consecutive postseasons, and hard to believe for everything we hear about Lakeland and football. I'll tell you what, Coach Collins and the Dreadnoughts get it done on the basketball court as well.
Well, they're getting it done, especially now. Lakeland, again, who I think has had the benefit of really having a good football team, having the school pride, really step up, and each sport wants to now compete with football. I mean, and I think we've seen it happen at Plant. Same thing at Plant High School. They're having an unbelievable basketball season this year, and this is a team that really, besides Michael Frazier, they have not won a district title, I believe, in 4 or 5 years. So they have a legitimate shot at winning the district this year. So good things happen when you have one program that's successful.
So you hear our public address announcer tonight, James Dawkins Jr., doing a great job here at Winter Haven High School. You'll love to just watch the reception, Andrick, we get when we walk into these high schools week after week. I mean, I don't get the autograph requests that you do, but still, it's nice to see some happy faces.
Drew's the rock star. We pull up, there's somebody here to valet his car, bring his bags inside. When I grow up, I want to be like you.
To the goal, Kendrick Holland is fouled, and he will shoot 2. There you see Mr. James Dawkins Jr., one of the best PA announcers around. He came up to me right before the game and said, "What do I have to say about Bright House Sports Network? What can I say?" Trust me, I gave him plenty. Lots to say about you as well.
You're never at a loss for words, my friend. Never at a loss for words.
Holland missed the front end. Do you like Holland as a guard or as a forward, Andrick, on the court?
Well, I think in this lineup, he's definitely bodes well as a forward. Has the ability to attack the basket. He runs the floor very well. We've seen him rebound the basketball. I mean, in high school basketball, I mean, Coach Woodside's done a great job of this. You put your best athletes on the floor. You don't really care about where they play and what position they're playing. You just want them on the floor, so they can create havoc.